Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these rare Kennedy half-dollar coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1. We're diving deep into the world of American coinage to uncover the secrets behind one of the most iconic and mysterious coins ever minted in the United States, the Kennedy half-dollar with the special bicentennial date of 1776 to 1976, and the coveted Denver mint mark. At first glance, it might just seem like a 50-cent piece. But hidden in its elegant design is a story of patriotism, craftsmanship, and in rare cases, tremendous value. So don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll learn what makes this coin so special, what rare features to look for, and how a simple coin you may already own could be worth a jaw-dropping amount. Let's rewind the clock to the year 1976. America was turning 200 years old, and the entire country was in celebration mode. Parades filled the streets, patriotic songs echoed from radios, and the U.S. Mint decided to do something unprecedented. To honor 2 centuries of freedom and democracy, they redesigned several circulating coins, including the quarter, the dollar, and yes, the half-dollar. That's how the bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar was born. And now, this coin didn't just commemorate the nation's birthday, it became a symbol of national pride. The front still featured the classic profile of President John F. Kennedy, the beloved leader who inspired a generation. But the date beneath his image was unlike anything seen before. Instead of a single year, it bore 1776 to 1976, reminding every American of their country's long and storied past. But it's the reverse side of the coin that truly captures the spirit of the nation. The back features a striking image of Independence Hall, the birthplace of both the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. It's the heart of Philadelphia, where the Founding Fathers debated the ideas that would shape the country forever. This powerful image was chosen to honor the spirit of liberty, and the engraving is nothing short of breathtaking. Now here's where things get interesting. Millions of these Kennedy half-dollars were produced, including at the Denver Mint, which marked its coins with a small d just above the date. While most were made for general circulation, not all coins are created equal. Some of these coins, specifically those struck in Denver, have become the stuff of legend among collectors. Why? Because among the massive production run, a tiny percentage of these coins were struck with unusual precision, rare metal compositions, or even unexpected errors that make them incredibly valuable today. We're talking about coins that were never meant to end up in someone's change jar. Coins that somehow survived in near-perfect condition, locked away in vaults, collector albums, or forgotten drawers for nearly 50 years. Imagine finding one of these coins with razor-sharp details, every line on Independence Hall perfectly crisp, every letter clean and bold, with surfaces that shimmer like a mirror. Now imagine it also has a rare minting flaw, like a double die, off-center strike, or even a wrong planchet error. Coins like that aren't just rare, they're treasures, and when you add the historic importance of this particular year in design, the coin becomes more than just currency. It becomes a tangible piece of American heritage. But the story doesn't stop there. Some of the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollars were struck in a special silver-clad composition, containing 40% silver. These were usually part of collector sets, but every now and then, one slips into general circulation unnoticed. If you find one of those in pristine condition, with the D mint mark and perhaps a rare error, you might be holding something truly special. Over the years, serious collectors and investors have paid high premiums for the finest examples of these coins. Not just for their silver content or historical value, but because of their rarity, condition, and uniqueness. So what should you look for if you have one of these coins? Start with the basics. Is it a 1776 to 1976 half-dollar? Does it have the D mint mark above the date? How's the condition? Are there scratches, wear, or is it close to mint? Then look closer. Use a magnifying glass. Examine the lettering. Check for doubling. Look at the edges. Listen to the sound, it can even give clues about the metal composition. And finally, if you suspect you've got something rare, consider getting it professionally graded. That's often the key to unlocking its full value. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much could a rare 1776 to 1976 D Kennedy half-dollar be worth today? If you happen to own one of these coins in exceptional condition, especially one with a rare mint error or struck in silver, you're not just holding a half-dollar. You could be holding a prize valued between $18,000 and $63,000. Yes, you heard that right. $18,000 to $63,000, all from a single coin that was once worth 50 cents. Incredible, isn't it? So before you toss your loose change into the coin jar or overlook that old coin folder collecting dust in the attic, take a second look. Because history has a funny way of hiding treasures in the most unexpected places. Thanks for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins. If you found this video helpful or exciting, be sure to like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more hidden gems from the world of numismatics. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a valuable opportunity. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your hands steady, and your coin collections close. You never know what fortune may be hiding right beneath your fingertips. Coin number 2, we're diving into the incredible and little-known story of a United States coin that most people have seen but very few truly understand. It's a coin that's often overlooked, passed through hands without a second glance, and tossed in drawers without a second thought. But in some rare cases, this coin can be worth more than you'd ever imagine. I'm talking about the 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar. At first glance, it might seem like just another old 50-cent piece. But stick around, because you'll soon learn why this particular coin has gained the attention of serious collectors and how a very specific version of it could be worth a shocking amount of money today. Now, let's set the stage. The year is 1971. The United States is in the midst of political tension, social change, and economic shifts. The Vietnam War is still ongoing, Apollo missions have recently brought humans to the moon, and back home, inflation and monetary policy are beginning to reshape the economy. In the world of coinage, a major change had just taken place. Before 1971, the Kennedy half dollar had been struck using 40% silver, especially in the versions minted between 1965 and 1970. But in 1971, that all changed. This was the first year that the Kennedy half dollar was minted with a copper-nickel clad composition, meaning no silver at all in general circulation coins. The switch marked a new chapter in U.S. coin history. For many, the change was just another footnote in economic policy. But for collectors, it marked the beginning of a new era. An era that, as it turns out, may have come with a few unexpected surprises. The Denver Mint struck millions of these 1971 Kennedy half dollars, each bearing the small D mint mark right above the date. These coins were made for circulation, meaning they were intended to go into the hands and pockets of everyday Americans. And they did, millions upon millions of them. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Although the official minting records show that no silver Kennedy half dollars were made for circulation in 1971, rumors and discoveries tell a different story. Over the years, a handful of 1971 D. Kennedy half dollars have been found that don't quite match their copper-nickel cousins. They have a different weight, a different ring when tapped, a different appearance altogether. Why? Because some of them may have been accidentally struck using leftover silver planchets, the blank metal discs used in earlier coins. Whether it was a mint error or a transitional mistake, these coins are extremely rare and extremely valuable, but silver content isn't the only factor that makes a 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar valuable. Some of these coins were struck with unusual minting errors, including double dies, misaligned strikes, or coins with unusual luster and finish that make them stand out from the rest. And then there's condition. A coin in near-perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, is already rare. But if it has an error, a unique feature, or traces of silver, that's when things start to get very, very interesting. So how can you tell if your 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar is one of the rare ones? Start by examining the edge. A typical clad coin will have a visible copper stripe along the rim. A silver coin won't. Next, check the weight. A clad half dollar weighs about 11.34 grams, while a 40% silver coin will weigh a bit more, around 11.5 grams. That may not sound like much, but in the world of coin collecting, small details matter a lot. Also, look closely at the surface of the coin. Is the strike unusually sharp? Are the details crisp and clear? Does the coin shine with a mirror-like surface? These traits could mean your coin was part of a special strike or has proof-like qualities that make it far more desirable than a standard circulation piece. And if you notice anything truly unusual, like doubling in the letters or numbers, or a missing clad layer, you might be holding something exceptionally rare. And now, you're probably thinking, okay, this is interesting, but what's the big deal? Well, here's the truth. While most 1971 D. Kennedy half dollars are worth just face value or slightly more depending on condition, There are a few out there that have turned up in auctions and private sales for incredible amounts. These are the unicorns, the coins that combine rarity, condition, metal content, and historical significance. The coins that make collectors' hearts race. And if you happen to have one of those special 1971 D. Kennedy half dollars, you could be sitting on a surprisingly valuable piece of American history. So, how much are we talking about? How much could one small, often overlooked 50-cent coin really be worth? Let me tell you. A rare 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar, especially one with a silver composition, unique minting error, and near flawless condition, has been known to sell for as little as $22,000 and as much as $68,000. That's right. From just 50 cents to $68,000. So before you toss that old coin into your pocket or let it collect dust in a drawer, take a second look. You might just be holding a small fortune in your hand without even knowing it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future discoveries. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your coins safe, and your curiosity alive. You never know what history or hidden wealth might be waiting right in your own collection. Coin number 3, we're unlocking the mystery of a coin that often slips under the radar but might just surprise you with its hidden value. We're talking about a piece of American history that many people have never looked at twice, yet certain rare versions of it have become incredibly desirable in the world of coin collecting. That's right, we're shining the spotlight on the 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar. It might look like an ordinary 50-cent piece to most people. But if you take a closer look, if you know what to look for, you'll discover that this coin holds far more than just its face value. In fact, under the right conditions, it could be hiding a secret that turns an ordinary day into one you'll never forget. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's travel back in time to understand why this coin, struck in the early 80s, has collectors today scrambling to find the rarest of the rare. The year was 1981. Ronald Reagan had just taken office. MTV was about to launch. The first personal computers were entering homes. America was stepping into a new technological era, but still deeply connected to its past. And during this time of transition, the U.S. Mint was continuing to produce the Kennedy half dollar, a coin that had already become a national symbol. Introduced in 1964 as a tribute to the late President John F. Kennedy, this coin was more than just currency. It was a symbol of American hope, unity, and legacy. By 1981, the design hadn't changed much: the proud profile of Kennedy on the obverse, and the heraldic eagle, inspired by the presidential seal, on the reverse. But here's what makes the 1981 P version so interesting. That little P mint mark stands for Philadelphia, the mint that produced the coin. In that year, millions of Kennedy half dollars were struck in Philadelphia, but here's the twist: most of them were never intended for general circulation. That's right, 1981 was a key year when the mint was transitioning toward limited production for coin collectors only. The majority of 1981 Kennedy half dollars were packaged into mint and proof sets, not released into everyday use. That means the number of coins available in circulation was extremely low. Finding a 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar that actually made its way into the public's hands? That's rare in itself, but we're not just talking about scarcity here. We're talking about specific coins, coins that were struck with unusual precision, coins with minting errors, and coins that somehow survived for over 4 decades in pristine, uncirculated condition. And those are the ones collectors dream about. Let's break it down. At first, condition matters. If you've got a 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar that still has full, sharp details, look at Kennedy's hair, the feathers on the eagle, the lettering along the rim, then you're already in a good place. If there's little to no wear, no scratches, no signs of circulation, and the coin has that original luster or shine? Even better. And next, let's talk about errors. Rare varieties of this coin include doubled dies, where parts of the design appear to be stamped twice, or off-center strikes, where the design doesn't align properly with the coin's surface. There are also coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the wrong metal blank was used. These mistakes might be invisible to the untrained eye, but for collectors, they're gold. And now here's a little-known fact: some 1981 P. Kennedy half dollars, especially those with brilliant, proof-like surfaces, may have slipped into regular mint rolls by mistake. These were never supposed to be in public circulation, and yet, a few have surfaced. Imagine finding one of these in a jar of old coins, or buried in a collection passed down through generations. That's the dream, because when rarity, condition, and error combine, you get a coin that's not just collectible. You get a coin that's valuable, and while many people might ignore a Kennedy half dollar because they think it's just another coin, true collectors know better. They know that each one tells a story. Each one has potential. And the 1981p? That's a story still being written. So what should you do if you have one? Start by checking for the P mint mark above the date. Then examine its condition. Look for sharpness in the strike, signs of luster, or unusual features. And if anything about the coin stands out, if the lettering looks doubled, if the strike looks odd, or if the coin simply seems unusually perfect, it might be time to have it professionally graded, because while most 1981p Kennedy half dollars are just collectibles, a rare few are far more than that. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. You've stuck with us this far, and it's time for the big reveal. How much could one of these rare 1981p Kennedy half dollars actually be worth? Well, if your coin is in uncirculated, gem quality condition, especially with a minting error or rare variety, it could be valued anywhere from $15,000 to $48,000. Yes, you heard that right. From just 50 cents to as much as $48,000. That's the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovering that a simple coin in your drawer might be a hidden treasure. It's not just about the metal. It's about the history, the rarity, and the eyes sharp enough to recognize what others miss. So take another look at your coin collection. Check your old piggy banks, your grandparents' coin jars, and those mint sets hiding in closets. Because that unassuming Kennedy half dollar from 1981 might just be your golden ticket. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to explore more rare and valuable coins, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a discovery. Coin number 4. We're unlocking the mystery behind a coin that many people overlook, but in some rare cases, it could be worth thousands. Today's spotlight is on the 1988 Kennedy half dollar, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but has some versions that are anything but average. And now, before you start digging through your change jar, make sure to watch this video until the end. You'll learn why this particular coin could be more than just a piece of history, and exactly what to look for to see if your coin is one of the rare, high-value editions. And yes, we will reveal just how much it could be worth in words right at the end. Let's take a step back and look at the Kennedy half dollar as a whole. Since its introduction in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the Kennedy half dollar has been an iconic piece of U.S. coinage. It wasn't just currency, it was a tribute, a symbol of hope and unity in a nation still grieving. Millions of Americans held on to these coins not just for spending, but as keepsakes. That legacy has carried on for decades, and collectors today still prize the Kennedy half dollar series for its history, design, and occasionally, for its hidden value. Fast forward to the year 1988. The Cold War was beginning to thaw, home computers were just starting to become common, and the United States was gearing up for a new era. Meanwhile, at the Denver Mint, production of the 1988 Kennedy half dollar continued like clockwork. The coins featured Kennedy's familiar profile on the obverse, and the presidential coat of arms, a powerful American bald eagle, on the reverse. Millions of these coins were minted with the D mint mark just above the date, indicating their origin at the Denver facility. Most of these coins made their way into circulation. They passed through countless hands, sat in cash registers, or were tossed into tip jars and change trays. For most people, they were just another piece of everyday currency, but here's the twist: among those millions, a select few were struck differently. Some of them were produced with higher precision. Others may have left the mint with unique errors. And still others somehow escaped the wear and tear of circulation altogether. These are the coins that collectors crave. So, what makes a 1988 D Kennedy half dollar rare and valuable? First, let's talk about condition. Coins are graded based on their level of preservation. A coin that looks like it was just minted yesterday, no scratches, no worn edges, with all the fine details still visible, is referred to as being in mint state. Coins in this condition are extremely hard to find in circulation, especially from over 3 decades ago. Second, rarity plays a role. While the 1988 D Kennedy half dollar isn't rare in total numbers, it's the rare varieties that matter. Coins with minting errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets are highly collectible. These errors are usually caught and destroyed before the coins leave the mint, but every now and then, one slips through a third. There's something even more subtle that adds value: eye appeal. Some coins are struck with exceptional sharpness, have a gorgeous shine or luster, or show toning patterns that make them stand out visually. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have that wow factor, those that look stunning even under a magnifying glass. Another interesting fact about Kennedy half dollars in the 1980s is that by this time, they were rarely used in day-to-day transactions. Many people simply didn't use 50-cent pieces anymore. That means fewer coins went through wear and tear, but also that fewer were kept, searched, or even noticed, especially in high grade. If you have a 1988 D Kennedy half dollar, you might be wondering, is mine one of the rare ones? Here's what to check. Look at the date and mint mark first. Make sure it has that D above the year. Then, examine the condition. Is the coin clean, free of heavy scratches or dings? Can you still see the tiny details in Kennedy's hair or the feathers of the eagle on the back? The sharper the detail, the better. And now, take a closer look, possibly with a magnifying glass. Are any of the letters doubled? Is the strike slightly off-center? Are there weird patterns or missing parts? These can all be signs of mint errors, and depending on their rarity, they can greatly increase your coin's value. If your coin ticks these boxes, don't rush to spend it. It may be time to have it evaluated by a professional grading service. Coin grading companies can authenticate the coin, assign it a grade, and help determine its market value. And if you're lucky, you might just have something truly special in your hands, because here's the exciting part: some of these rare 1988 D Kennedy half dollars, especially those found in top mint condition or featuring unusual minting errors, have gone on to sell for significantly more than face value. So just how much could one of these coins be worth today? A particularly rare and well-preserved 1988 D Kennedy half dollar has the potential to bring in between $13,000 and $40,000 on the collector's market. That's right, from a coin originally worth 50 cents, you could be holding a treasure worth up to $40,000. It just goes to show that history, rarity, and a bit of luck can transform something ordinary into something extraordinary. So go ahead, check your coin jar, open that old album, or take a second look at the half dollar you once thought was just spare change. Because one of those could be your hidden jackpot. If you enjoyed this journey through the fascinating world of rare coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on that bell so you'll never miss our next treasure hunt. Until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and always check your change. You never know what hidden fortune might be waiting right in your hands. Coin number 5, we're talking about a 50-cent piece that many people have seen, spent, or ignored over the years. It's a coin you might have right now sitting in a drawer, a change jar, or tucked away in an old coin folder. But under the right conditions, this coin could be hiding a surprising secret. So what's the coin of the day? It's none other than the 1998 P Kennedy half dollar. Yes, 1998. Not from the 60s. Not from a wartime era. But from the late 90s, a time of Y2K worries, booming tech stocks, and compact discs. While most people think older always means more valuable, that's not always the case when it comes to rare US coins. Sometimes, it's about mintage, condition, mint marks, and unexpected errors. And the 1998 P Kennedy half dollar is a perfect example of that. Let's rewind for a second and talk about the Kennedy half dollar itself. This coin was first introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, just months after his tragic assassination. Since then, it has become one of the most collected modern coins in US history. For decades, the design has remained largely the same: Kennedy's strong profile on the front, and the majestic presidential eagle on the reverse. The coin represents leadership, national pride, and unity. Now, by 1998, the Kennedy half dollar wasn't exactly the star of everyday commerce. In fact, by then, most Americans weren't even using half dollars anymore. They were rarely handed out as change, and many banks stopped keeping them in stock. The mint continued producing them, but increasingly, they were being made for collectors, not general circulation. That brings us to the Philadelphia Mint, where the 1998 Kennedy half dollar bearing the P mint mark was produced. Millions were struck, yes, but most of them were scooped up in bags and rolls for collectors or ended up sitting in bank vaults, never really making it into people's hands. But here's where it gets exciting: not all 1998 P Kennedy half dollars are created equal. Some were struck with exceptional precision. Others were minted using special dyes that resulted in deeper detail and brilliant surfaces. And then, there are the errors. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts skip a beat. Imagine discovering a 1998 Kennedy half dollar with a double die where part of the design appears slightly shifted or duplicated. Or finding one that was struck off-center, where Kennedy's portrait is slightly pushed toward the edge. Or even rarer still, a coin that was accidentally struck on the wrong planchet using the metal intended for another denomination altogether. These errors are not only fascinating, they're incredibly rare. And because the 1998 Kennedy half dollar isn't as widely searched as earlier years, many of these coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight. Now let's talk about grading, because condition is everything when it comes to value. A coin that's been circulated, scratched, and worn down might only be worth face value. But a mint state coin, one that has been carefully preserved, with no signs of wear and flawless surfaces, can be worth far more. If you hold a 1998 P Kennedy half dollar and it looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, smooth, shiny, and sharp in detail, congratulations. You're already ahead of the game. Add in a rare error or a proof-like strike, and you might just have something extraordinary. The truth is, very few people have paid attention to the 1998 Kennedy half dollar. It's overshadowed by the earlier silver versions and the special bicentennial editions. But that's exactly why the rare ones from this year are so valuable, because almost no one saw them coming. So how do you check if your coin is one of the rare ones? Start by flipping it over and looking just above the year. Do you see the P mint mark? That means it was made in Philadelphia. Now, look at the coin under a light. Does it reflect like a mirror? Are the small details, like the hairline, the eagle's feathers, the letters, crisp and full? Any strange doubling? Any signs that it wasn't struck normally? If you even suspect that something looks different, it might be worth getting the coin evaluated by a grading service. Professional grading can confirm its authenticity, determine its condition, and assign it a grade which directly impacts its value. And here's the part that might surprise you, because while most people think a 1998 half dollar is worth, well, 50 cents, some of them are worth a whole lot more. So what could a rare 1998 P Kennedy half dollar actually be worth? If you have one in gem uncirculated condition, with a rare mint error or exceptional strike quality, it could fetch between $8,000 and $35,000 on the collector's market. That's right up to $35,000 for a coin that many people wouldn't even look at twice. So the next time you see a Kennedy half dollar, especially one from 1998, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. Because hidden among the ordinary might just be something extraordinary. Thanks for joining us on another deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins. If you found this video helpful or exciting, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next hidden gem we uncover. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. Happy collecting!